to all our viewers. Welcome to FHA Weekly. I am Itunu Kolawole. We share with you the latest developments in the Federal Housing Authority on FHA round the clock.
The Federal Housing Authority is taking practical steps to bridge Nigeria's housing deficit. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Honorable Oyetunde, promised Nigerians not just more houses, but homes that are affordable and accessible. He said this when he commissioned 100 housing units in Ibadan, Oyo State.
And this is your key,
Honorable Ojo believes the current allocation largely benefit individuals in the formal sector, and plans are in motion to expand access to those in the informal sector.
President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope housing program is already providing shelter for thousands of Nigerians through the federal housing estate. Already completed and commissioned is Express View Estate, a 102-unit housing estate and a shopping plaza, which is just a fraction of the projects of the estate scattered across the country. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Housing Authority, Honorable Oyetunde Ojo, commended the vision and leadership of President Bola Tinubu and also acknowledged the support of the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, which he said has helped the agency to stay the course and continue to ensure more affordable houses are delivered to millions of Nigerians.
The Managing Director, CEO of the Federal Housing Authority, FHA, has reaffirmed the authority's commitment to supporting Nigerians' access to affordable housing through its subsidiary, the FHA Mortgage Bank. Speaking at the commissioning of the bank's new head office in Gwarimpa, the MD CEO described the development as a milestone that not only expands the institution's capacity but also contributes to job creation in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision.
The Federal Housing Authority has begun construction of the Renewed Hope Affordable Housing Estate in Sabowa in Riganchikun, Kaduna State. The estate marks a concrete step towards closing Nigeria's housing gap and making decent, affordable homes a reality for Kaduna residents. Kaduna State Governor Senator Uba Sani performed the groundbreaking ceremony, officially launching President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope Housing Initiative in the state. Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Eno, has performed the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the Renewed Hope Housing Estate at Ekpeneokim in Uruan local government area of the state. At the event, the governor expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Federal Housing Authority for choosing Akwa Ibom State as one of the flagship sites of the Renewed Hope Housing Initiative. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Housing Authority, Honorable Oyetunde Ojo, expressed delight at the commencement of the Renewed Hope Estate in Akwa Ibom State, noting that the state's trademark hospitality and commitment to development influenced the choice of Uyo as the project's launch point.
To begin the year 2026, I had a chat with the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Housing Authority, Honorable Oyetunde Ojo. And he told me about his achievements for the year 2025 and what staffs and Nigerians should expect in terms of welfare and affordable housing this year. When you came in, people said a new sheriff is in town. You have brought in policies and reforms. So can you share with us how this has strengthened transparency in the Federal Housing Authority?
That's very good. What are the policies and reforms you bring? The first thing before I came in, or the day I arrived, you were using an analog form of assessing property files. And that brought in widespread corruption. And that's led to cloning of files, stealing of files, and people nearly lost hope in FHA. Because remember that we are dealing in property business. And what is in our custody is over 1 trillion naira in assets for people. And that's why we came in and we said digitalization must work. And now that digitalization has come to stay, you and I know that the court processes have gone down. You and I know that the issue of cloning has stopped. You and I know that the issue of file stealing is something of the past. At one press of the button, you have an access to the system and which properties are now properly kept. We've migrated to Galaxy, which is the federal government. We're able to do that this year. That's where you should keep all your cyber cloud in when you are a government operator or a government agency. We've been able to do that successfully. Secondly, we've been able to take most of our land from what you call land grabbers. When I first came, most of FHA lands was under the custody of land grabbers. Lagos, first tag issue, we saw the issue of Guarimpa. Even with court judgment, they would not even still respect. And my coming, I had to go out physically, I have to go out practically to make sure most people got their land back. Initially, when I was going out, people thought I was looking for land to grab. But thank God, when they saw me that I was settling people on their land and I was chasing the land grabbers. At this junction, I would like to say a very big thank you to the Inspector General of Police of the Federation, the IGP, Dr. Kayode Egbetoku, for giving us that support, providing police force for enforcement. And that's why I said, if you go out there now, they will tell you, don't go near FHA property. And that's the meaning of a new sheriff is in town. I'm not just only in town by sitting in the office in Asokoro. I will move to Sharada. I will be in Kano. I will be in Gombe. I'm in Port Harcourt. I'm in Oyo. You can see the construction of Gwari. And I told them, once you take our money, you have to do our work. A lot of contractors who took our money, I gave them deadline. Return back to site. Let's sit down. You go back to site. Failure for you to do that, I will report you to the appropriate government agency, which is the EFCC and the ICPC. Thank God, all of them went back to site. For those who could not continue, and we checked what is on ground, we decided to cancel their contract and terminate it totally. So the no FHA is not a place for dumping ground. And reports, normally when you are building housing project, the danger is, because it's government, people kept submitting the same reports and files to the authority for payment of work done and milestone. If you don't go there physically, they can be submitting the same thing and be taking government money on the same work and not moving from one milestone to other. So before I make payment, even though I trust my staff, I know my staffs are very diligent, they're hardworking, I go to each of where the work is done to actually look at the milestone myself, take photographs, so when I'm doing the next payment on those same properties and those projects, I know exactly. And every contractor who has that bad character in FHA, they've all left us, they ran away. They won't say it publicly, that the MD is supposed to be in the office. What is he doing outside? The issue of land grabbing has given, ability to tackle the land grabbers have given us more assets into FHA. Yeah, they've given us more assets into FHA, and that's also enriched our financials. We have to improve more on our issue of consent. I will tell you one thing, our issue of consent and our issue of approvals. A 1,000 square meter land in Gusape goes for almost about 200 to 300 million naira. Now, somebody would want to develop, let's say, 10 terrace duplexes on a 3,000 square meter of land. Remember that we are an authority in which our work comprises everything: surveying, town planning, engineering, all these approvals and everything. And you and I know, in the open market, in the past, presently in the open market, a 10 terrace duplexes in Gusape, at minimum 4-bedroom terrace duplexes, goes for about 300 million. And somebody is building 10 of that on a 3,000 square meters, which gives you about 3 billion. And remember, allocation was given to that person at probably 10 million naira, 15 million naira, because government allocation. Then somebody wants to have a project or build a project of 3 billion, which likely is going to make 25% of 3 billion. In the past, that person will pay FHA 200,000 naira for drawing approvals. Who is fooling who? So when we came, I had to tell them no. How can FHA be becoming poorer and you as an individual are getting richer? And I can tell you one thing. Last year, when we were still running the old style and the old policy, we were able to generate 400 and something million. This year, when the prices went up at the beginning of the year, and we told them, well, I will tell you last year it was 54 approvals we gave out, and we generated about 400 million plus. This year, the prices went times 10, and we are having over 129 approvals, and we have generated over 4 billion. So who was fooling who before? Government agency dying and sinking just because some people within the authority wants to become super rich. And that's the problem we have in Nigeria. Let everybody come to the table with honesty. Before I came, Servicom as a department is dead. Research as a department is dead. Standard performance as a department is dead. But you and I knew what happened in this 1 year. Those departments are even one of the best departments every staff want to go on transfer. And that's why any resources in FHA is being held under trust on a commonwealth. And it's being distributed as needed, as provided to in the budget. And that's why when people write petitions, people write a lot of things, I invite them to open television. Come and defend your petitions. And at the end of the day, since we've been here, most of them will run away, faceless people. The ones that came could not get any results. Because when you block loopholes, area where things are being siphoned, you expect people to fight you back.
So, sir, let's also discuss on how you have been able to improve on the access to housing, especially for people on low and middle income earners.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And a lot of people have been applying to us for housing. You know, the housing construction, to be honest with you, it's not a joke. For you to get the needs of the people, the expectation of the people being met, housing construction requires proper thinking, proper planning, proper funding. And we've started our nation. We've told people to apply, which they've applied online, lots of applications. We've started our groundbreaking and nationwide, which we started with Akwa Ibom, with Kaduna. Like I said, we'll release also our financial analysis for contractors who have been successful. And our website is on, in which we've told Nigerians to apply on websites. It's a nationwide thing that we're going to do. We're going to do 200 per state all over the federation. Like I told you, we are not being funded. And the few we can do, we want to make it affordable. And people have been plugging it. We have our Buhari now, in which is about 60-70% sold. And hopefully by next year, April, May, Wood Commission is going to almost about 400,000 units will be commissioned by Mr. President. We're almost about 60-70% to finishing.
How easy is it to actually access the houses of FHA? How easy is it to purchase a house or even get an allocation? The subsidiary, you mentioned the last time that the FHA Mortgage Bank, people can go through them, but is it working? Or people still have to know somebody in FHA to be able to get allocation?
It is working. You don't need to know anybody in FHA before you get allocation. You come, I've told people, we have 6 zone offices. We have Abuja, which is the headquarters. You have Lagos, which is the southwest zone. You have Benue, which is the north central zone. You do have Gombe, which is the northeast zone. You have Kano. You have Owerri, which is the southeast zone. And you have Port Harcourt, which is the south-south zone. What we keep telling people, go into our zone offices or you log on to our website. But one of my advices nowadays is also, there's a lot of internet frauds where people post there. So I always advise people, try and go to our zone offices, or you communicate to us through our Servicom department, which the telephone numbers are there on our website. Our mortgage bank is there, FHA Mortgage Bank, which is a subsidiary of Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria, is there to provide mortgages, and people are making use of it. Things are not the way it used to be before. This current government, this current administration under President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is a responsive administration that attend to Nigerians, no matter who you are and where you are coming from. And we've told them the same thing applies in the housing sector. And we want Nigerians to have a rethink. The current government is totally different from what government used to be in the past in this country. Here is practical. We want people to believe. And our mortgage bank is there. We just opened our new headquarters, our new edifice in Gwarinpa, and people have started going there, talking to them on mortgages. Anytime they go there, they come to me, I always direct them there. And people have been given mortgages in the informal sector, not just in the formal sector. A lot of people in the informal sector nationwide have accessed our mortgage. Once you meet up to our mortgage criteria, definitely, without knowing anybody.
That is very commendable, sir, the work you're putting into FHA. But in the coming year, what would you say your biggest priority would be, and how would you measure the success of that?
So what we're going to do, which I've told the management team, and we've all agreed in our meeting, is we are going out on full-blown construction. So our IGL will be dedicated 100% to full-blown housing construction. And that's why I said, give us 1 year. You'll be seeing commissioning upon commissioning.
So you mentioned before that there have been petitions. What would you say is your biggest lesson for the year?
What is my biggest lesson is to see my staff smiling, my staff enjoy, my staff having reward for their labor work, and seeing Nigerians under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the renewable agenda, going home smiling. We need to see smiles in people's faces. And I'm happy anytime I come into the office in the morning, I see adult staff smiling. There is no adult staff in this organization that doesn't go home with 100,000 naira a month. So if you are a cleaner and you can go home with 100,000, thank God for the minimum wage of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and has a free transport to his destination back and front. That means vividly an adult staff here in FHA goes home with about 200,000 naira a month. And since I came, historically, the union came to me that this is the first managing director that the gate has never been locked. And they asked me, how did I do it? I said, it's about transparency. This is what you have. Every week I declare my financial statement to everybody. This is what we have generated. This is what government has. This is this. So if an MD can declare his financial statement to the authority, then what petition will you write?
So, sir, what would be your last message to Nigerians, and what should they look forward to for the new year?
For the new year, they should look forward to an FHA coming out with their needs and demands in the housing sector. And like I said, the federal government, not just FHA, has created an enabling environment in the housing sector. I trust Mr. President that he will always make sure subsequent years are better, because he's a man that thinks 10 years above. So Nigerians should please calm down. They are seeing results in the housing sector. They are seeing changes. Like I said, it's both the private and the public that the housing issue is improving. And FHA would make sure, as an organization, to meet up to the expectation of both formal and informal. Under this administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we've been told that the informal sector should be given housing opportunity. So it will be a very good new year to us. It will be a prosperous one to us, and Nigerians should keep up. We want to thank Nigerians, especially in Federal Housing Authority, for believing in us, and we will not disappoint them, not just 2026, but subsequently after 2026.
Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you very much.
Stay with us as we go on a short break.
Planning to develop on your land within an FHA estate? Here's everything you need to know about why you need a building approval and common mistakes to avoid. Building approval is not just the paperwork. It is your first step to ensure your structure meets planning, safety, and environmental standards. Here are the common mistakes that can delay or deny your building approval. Your building deserves a strong foundation. For more inquiries, contact our customer support or visit www.fha.gov.ng. FHA, uniting Nigerians through housing.
But in government agency, they have this mindset of, trying to give back. Give to the society, to make things easy to the society, compared to the private developer. They don't want to care whether your earning is low or not. They will just, want to rather, some hidden charges, exploitation, and is there. But like I said, the government's own property is still the best.
FHA has really been doing well in that regard, and at least you have a low housing from them that people can easily key into and find a way to pay on a gradual note. But that is limited to the numbers of people who are interested. And I think the single digits mortgage interest rate is what we really need in Nigeria. If we can get that and it's well planned, I'm sure a lot of people will be able to key into the housing sector.
That's it on FHA Weekly. For enquiries, you can visit our website www.fha.gov.ng, or you can engage with us on all social media platforms at FHA Nigeria. I am Ituno Kolawole. Welcome to an exciting 2026.